Family. This is a big, big night in New York City progressive politics. And there's going to be a lot of discourse nationally about what happened in the five boroughs today. I'm recording this at 2 a.m., by the way. The shit just went down. Zoran just won the Democratic nomination. First of all, crazy it happened on the first night. I don't think anyone was expecting that. So, why did Zoran win? How did this happen? Obviously, there are a multitude of factors. He crushed the social media game. That was a huge part of it. He went viral like 1,000 times. That helped. He got some clutch celebrity support. Shout out Kareem, the Subway Takes guy. Shout out, I don't know, other people. It's 2 a.m. None of that's why he won. And yeah, he's affable. He's charming. That helped. He's a good looking dude. All helped. But none of those is like the reason he won. The reason he won is the work of the Working Families Party and the other candidates on their Working Families Party slate, Brad Landers, Eleanor Myrie, and Adrienne Adams. Why is that? Two reasons. One, everybody, my whole life, your whole life, everyone watching this who's ever been involved with anything on the left, anything on the progressive side of any political spectrum, what happens every time? Invariably, there's some small disagreement that leads to conflict and then fissure. And y'all going this way, we go in that way, other group goes in that way, and suddenly the movement gets split. Suddenly the group that was 35 people strong is now like two groups of 12. Right? That shit happens all the time. I know that math doesn't add up, but you know what I'm saying. The Working Families Party ensured that that was not going to happen this election. The organizing that they did, both behind the scenes, the closed door conversations, the lobbying, the keeping people on track with the strategy was truly remarkable. But even more important was being able to put together so much public facing solidarity among candidates, friendliness among candidates. I would argue that what's the word I'm looking for? Culminated in two different events. One was the Letitia James Chiose rally that was held in Crown Heights, Brooklyn this weekend. And then two, Brad Lander and Zohran Mamdani together on the Colbert, not the Colbert Report, the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Fam, I don't think y'all understand how radical and unprecedented it is for two rival candidates to be sitting next to each other on a late night talk show, like bigging each other up. For a Jewish guy like Brad Lander to be running alongside a Muslim and saying, like, yeah, that anti-Semitic shit is absolute bullshit. We just believe Palestinians should have human rights. It's not anti-Semitic to say that. To have a Muslim sitting next to a Jew talking about how sincerely determined he is to protect all Jewish New Yorkers from the scourge of anti-Semitism. Like, this is unprecedented shit, guys. Obviously, ranked choice voting allows for this new political climate. Like, that was never going to happen with Bernie and Warren, that they were going to say, like, rank Elizabeth second and Bernie, whatever, right? That was never going to happen in a context where it's like one vote for each person. You can only vote for one person. But if you think about it, there can only be one winner, even in ranked choice, right? Like, Brad Lander was very knowingly going along with playing second fiddle. The guy is such a class act. What an actual goat Brad Lander is. The fact that all these politicians, they have so much fucking ego. They think they're the shit. Like, I'm sure it must have been internally very difficult for him to see this younger guy getting way more like excitement, love. Like, look what Jessica Ramos did when that happened to her. Yeah, I mean, she couldn't handle it. She had to flip over to the dark side. She's like, yo, I'm endorse Cuomo. Right? That's, I think, really more how most politicians would have handled, not necessarily as extreme as she did, but most politicians would have handled it with that like bitterness of like, no, it's my turn. I deserve the support. Brad Lander, Adrienne Adams, Eleanor Myrie, none of that. None of that. They were class acts. They're like, yo, we got the community to care for. We got a right wing, potentially authoritarian, a guy with authoritarian tendencies running against us. So we're going to unite. We're going to support each other. We're going to stay positive. And it worked. It actually happened. I guarantee it's obviously counterfactual, will never be able to guarantee you that if Brad Lander was not as enthusiastic about it, that if Adrienne Adams like made a point to split, to really like visibly split with Zoran on something, that we would have lost this election. Would not have happened with, and this is last shout out, Tish James. Tish fucking James, yo. The fact that she clearly was, after going through the investigation, after getting statements, reading documents, taking the time to learn the details of the sexual assault and harassment that Cuomo did over the course of like decades. It hit her emotionally. And she took that emotion and waited her time patiently and then played an instrumental role organizing the positivity and unity of this slate. So much respect for Tish James. And so much gratitude for the Working Families Party. I expect there's going to be very little mention of the WFP in national media tomorrow or today, if you're watching this on Wednesday. But the WFP played an enormous role. Shout out NY1, they did mention the WFP. But yeah, they deserve the accolades today, fam. Thanks for watching. If you live in New York and you voted for Zohran, motherfucker, thank you so much for voting for Zohran. November is going to be real, so we're going to have to run it back. Join DSA. If you haven't joined DSA, join DSA. Peace.